You are sitting across from someone you have known for a long time, and the food between you has gone a little cold. While neither of you noticed, they are saying something about their day, something small, and you are listening the way you always listen, with your eyes in the right place and your face doing the things a face is supposed to do. But somewhere underneath the listening, there's a quiet question you cannot quite shape into words. It is not that anything is wrong. That is the strange part. The lamp is on. The plates are where they always are. The person in front of you is the same person you chose. The same face you have looked at across 1,000 ordinary evenings. And yet tonight, watching them talk, you feel something you do not have a name for. A faint distance, like looking at someone through a pane of glass that was not there before, that nobody installed, that simply appeared one day while you were both busy with other things. You nod at the right moments. You answer when answering is expected. The conversation moves the way it always moves, easily enough. Nothing in it that a stranger watching from across the room would notice. But you notice. You notice that you are watching the person instead of being with them, that some small part of you has stepped back without meaning to, and is standing a little apart now, observing. They reach for the water. You watch them reach for the water, and you think, quietly, with no drama in it at all, that you used to know exactly what they were thinking in moments like this, and lately you have to guess. There is no fight underneath it. There is no betrayal, no cold word. Nothing you could point to and say, this is where it started. It is gentler than that, and somehow that makes it harder to hold. The distance did not arrive. It accumulated. It gathered the way dust gathers on a shelf you walk past every day, invisible until the light hits it at a certain angle, and then suddenly, it is the only thing you can see. You finish your food. They finish theirs. One of you says something about the dishes, and the other one answers, and the evening folds itself up the way evenings do. But the question stays. It sits with you while you clear the table. It is not loud. It does not demand anything. It only waits, patient, in the space between two people who still care about each other and have somehow started to feel slightly far away. That slight far awayness does not announce itself in the daylight. It hides inside the ordinary, which is exactly where it is hardest to find. In the morning, you move around each other in the kitchen, the way two people move when they have shared a kitchen for years. An easy choreography. You say good morning. They say it back. You ask if they slept well, and they say fine, and you say the same. And neither answer is a lie, and neither is the whole truth. This is the texture of it now. Not silence exactly, because there are words. There are words about the bills, and the weekend, and whether the car needs looking at. The logistics of a shared life never stop generating things to say. But underneath the logistics, there used to be another conversation. The one that happened in glances and half sentences and the way you would catch each other's eye. That conversation has gone quiet. You did not decide to stop having it. You simply stopped. The way you stop noticing a sound you hear every day. You go to work. They go to work. And the hours fill themselves with the small necessary tasks that make a life run. And in those hours, you do not think about the distance. There are emails and errands and the 100 small fires of an ordinary day. But then you come home, and the door opens onto the same rooms, and there they are, and the feeling returns the way a tide returns. You ask how their day was. They tell you in the shorthand of people who have told each other about their days for a very long time. But information is not the same as closeness. You can know everything that happened to a person and still not feel near them the way they used to leave their hand on the table near yours. And now both hands stay busy. The silences feel like rooms with the doors closed. You watch them scroll their phone on the other end of the couch, the blue light on their face, and you miss them 4 feet away. You do not say it. What would you even say? There is no complaint to make. They have not done anything. You have not done anything. You are both simply tired, simply busy, simply carried along by the current of a life that asks a great deal and leaves little over. And the days stack up, one on top of the next, each one ordinary, and the distance grows through the slow arithmetic of moments that did not connect. You make plans and cancel them. Gently, you mean to talk, and the moment passes. You think, tomorrow, and tomorrow arrives wearing the same clothes as today. None of it is dramatic. You always thought that if 2 people drifted apart, you would feel it happening, that there would be a turning point. But there is no moment. There is only the long, unmarked middle, the dinners and the mornings, and the good mornings, said back, and somewhere inside all of it, quietly, the slow widening of a space you are not sure how to close. The not knowing how to close it is its own quiet weight. Because the truth, when you sit with it long enough, is that the distance is not really between you and them, or not only there. Some of it is inside you. You have changed slowly in ways you did not track. The person you were when you first knew them had more to give, or gave it more easily, or had not yet learned to hold so much of themselves in reserve. Somewhere along the way, you started keeping things back. Not big things, just the small overflow of a day. The thought that was not important enough to share. The feeling you decided not to mention because they seemed tired, because you were tired, because it was late, because it would pass, and each thing kept back was nothing on its own, but you kept back so many of them over so many days. Eventually, you had built a quiet interior life that the other person was no longer fully inside of, and you suspect, though you cannot be sure, that they did the same. That on the other side of the silence, there is another person with their own folded up, unshared days, their own collection of small things that did not seem worth saying. 2 people slowly becoming slightly private to each other, in the same house, under the same roof, sharing a bed and a bank account and a calendar, and somehow each living a little more alone than either of them planned. You realize you have started to perform closeness a little. The way you perform fine when someone asks how you are. The kiss at the door that has become a gesture more than a feeling. The I love you said at the end of a phone call. Automatic, true but worn smooth. Like a coin that has passed through too many hands to read. You do not doubt that you love them. That is not the question. The love is still there, underneath, steady. The way the foundation of a house is still there even when you never think about it. The question is something harder to name. It is whether love and closeness are the same thing, and you are beginning to understand slowly, that they are not, that you can love someone fully and still drift, that the caring can survive while the nearness quietly thins. And this is somehow the loneliest discovery of all, because it means the distance is not a sign that something is broken. It is just a sign that you are both human, both tired, both carrying lives that take more than they used to. You think about how easy it was at the start, how the closeness required no effort, how you simply fell toward each other without trying. And you understand now, in a way you did not then, that the closeness was not free. It was paid for every day in attention, in the small choosing of each other, over the 1,000 other things asking for your attention, and somewhere in the long middle of a shared life, without deciding to, you both started paying a little less, not from any failure of feeling, just from the slow erosion of time, from being two people with finite attention and infinite demands, from the way a life will quietly spend you down if you let it. You sit with this. It does not resolve into anything. There is no insight that fixes it, no moment of understanding that makes the distance close. There's only the recognition itself, sitting in your chest, that the person you most wanted to be near has become, in some small and unspoken way, slightly far, and that you did not stop loving them. You only stopped reaching a little, day by day, until reaching started to feel like something you would have to learn how to do again. Learning to reach again would mean admitting you stopped, and admitting you stopped would mean a conversation, and the conversation is the thing you keep not having. You can feel the shape of it sometimes, late at night, when you are both lying in the dark, not quite asleep. The words are right there. You could turn toward them and say, "I feel far from you lately, and I do not know why. And I miss you, even though you are right here." The sentence is simple. It is true, and you do not say it. You tell yourself it is because the timing is wrong, because they have an early start, because you do not want to make something out of nothing, because what if you say it and they look at you blankly? Because what if you say it and they say, "I feel it too," and then you are both holding the thing you were each carrying alone, and you do not know what you would do with it once it was out. So you stay quiet. You let the moment pass, the way you have let so many moments pass, and you fall asleep facing the other way, and in the morning, the daylight makes the whole thing seem smaller, manageable, like a dream you can almost laugh at. But it is not smaller. It is exactly the same size it was in the dark. You just cannot see it as well. And this is how the distance protects itself. You realize? It thrives on the ordinary. It needs the daylight and the logistics and the good reasons. It needs the early start and the busy week. As long as life keeps moving, as long as there are dishes to do and bills to pay and a weekend to plan, the distance can keep growing undisturbed, because there is always something more urgent than the slow, quiet ache of two people drifting. You think about the small evidence of it, the things you would never mention to anyone because they sound like nothing, the way you both watch a show now instead of talking, and how the show has become a kind of mercy, a way to be together without the pressure of being together. The way a joke between you lands a half-second late now, where it used to land instantly, because you are no longer quite tuned to the same frequency. The way you find yourself telling a good piece of news to a friend or a coworker first, and only later, almost as an afterthought, to them. The way their bad mood, which once would have pulled at you, now mostly just passes by. Noted, a weather report from a country you used to live in. None of these things is a wound. Each of them is just a small loosening of a knot that took years to tie. And you notice, with something that is not quite guilt and not quite grief, that you have started to look forward to the small pockets of solitude inside the shared life, the drive to work alone, the shower, the 10 minutes before they get home, time that is only yours, where you do not have to perform the closeness, where you can just be the slightly private person you have quietly become, and you feel the contradiction of it, that you miss them, and also that you have come to need the spaces where they are not. And you do not know how both of those things can be true at once, but they are, and you live inside the contradiction without resolving it. You remember the early version of this love, when missing them was a sharp, clean feeling, when an hour apart was too long, when you would have been baffled to learn that one day you would sit in the same room and feel the ache of distance anyway. You did not understand then that distance is not about space, that you can be a continent away from someone and feel them in your chest, and you can share a pillow with someone and feel oceans between you. The geography of closeness has nothing to do with the geography of the world. And you wonder, sitting with all of this, whether they wonder too, whether on some night when you thought they were asleep, they were also lying there with the simple true sentence right behind their teeth, deciding not to say it for all the same reasons, whether the distance is something you are doing to each other or something that is happening to both of you, a thing with no author, no villain, just two tired people and the slow accumulation of unsaid days. You think about how you would explain it to someone, and you realize you could not, because there is nothing to explain. Nothing happened. That is the whole story. Nothing happened over and over for a long time, and the nothing added up to something. And the cruelest part, the part you turn over and over, is that it would be easier if something had, if there were a fight, a fault, a single clear cause, you would know where to push. But there is nothing to push against. There's only the soft, gradual, blameless drift of two people who still care, and the strange grief of watching it happen from the inside, unable to name it, unsure if naming it would help or only make it real. So you keep watching. You keep noticing. You sit across the table from someone you love, and you feel them there and not there, the same time, present in body, slightly absent in some other way you cannot point to, and you carry the noticing alone, the way you have carried so much alone, quietly, without complaint. In the long unmarked middle of a life, you are still, despite everything, building together. Building it together, still, even now, even like this. That is the part that stays with you when the rest of it quiets down. You're back at the table some evening, not so different from the one where you first noticed the glass between you, the food going a little cold while neither of you watches it, the lamp doing its small, warm work against the dark. They are telling you about their day. You are listening, the way you always listen, and the distance is there, the same faint distance, the pane that nobody installed. But tonight, for no particular reason, you find yourself just looking at them, not watching from behind the glass, just looking, the way you used to, at the face you have looked at across 1,000 ordinary evenings. They reach for the water. You watch them reach for the water. The same gesture, the same hand. And something in your chest moves, quietly, the smallest shift. You do not say the simple, true sentence. Maybe you never will. Maybe it will stay where it has always stayed, just behind your teeth, in the company of all the other things you decided were too small or too late or too much. But you let yourself feel, for a moment, the strange, enormous fact of them, that this person, who has become slightly far, is also the person who knows where you keep the spare key, and how you take your coffee, and what you sound like when you are pretending to be fine. That the distance and the closeness are not enemies. That they have been living in the same house this whole time, the way you and this person have, sharing the rooms, taking turns. You think about the start of it, when nearness was free, and you do not feel the old sharp missing of it. You feel something gentler, something like the way you feel about a season that has passed. Not wanting it back exactly, only holding it, the conversation moves the way it always moves. One of you says something about the dishes. The other one answers. The evening folds itself up the way evenings do. And the question is still there. The one with no name, the one that does not demand anything. It sits with you while you clear the table, patient, unhurried, no closer to an answer than it was. But it feels different to carry now. Not lighter, just less alone somehow. Even though you have told no one, even though nothing has changed, even though the person 4 feet away may be carrying the exact same weight and will also say nothing, you turn off the lamp. The rooms go dark in the order they always go dark, and in the quiet that follows, the two of you move through the familiar choreography of the end of a day, slightly far and still together. The glass still there, and the love still under it. Neither one of you reaching, both of you staying in the long, unmarked middle of something you have not finished and are not sure how to name